Hey there, friends. Coach Lisa here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I have a very exciting message today, something I want to share with you. And I thought, since this is a tool, right, a life coaching tool that I'm going to share with you today. And for me, it's a game changer, and it will be for you too. So I've used it all my life, and I just kind of taught it to myself, and it's become it's so simple, and yet it's so profound, right? It's challenging and yet so rewarding. So I want to share it with you. I thought it was better to share it sooner rather than later, so that as we move forward here, we can make reference to it, because it's big. It's a big deal. It's a game changer. So, are you wondering what it is? Let me show you. Okay. Here it is. Let's get all this mess out of here. Now, I know this is backwards for you, right? But it says change your mind. Right? Change your mind. That is such a powerful, powerful concept. But so simple, right? It seems so simple. But I want to share with you. We'll talk about it a little bit, but I want to share with you some examples. And then, because I think the examples help to really drive home the profundity of this concept. Change your mind, right? So I'll just give you a couple of quick examples of mine to just get the ball rolling here. So the first one that I can think of in my life, and there probably were more prior to this, but this was a really, really big one for me. So I was a senior in high school, and our English teacher assigned monologues for the seniors. Now, that was enough to just scare me right out of my skin. Okay, so I had already made up my mind that when the time for the monologues came along, I was just going to take the 0. So sure enough, when that time came, I went to the teacher, and he was a friend of ours as well. He wasn't just a teacher, he was a friend. He's awesome. And so I told him, I said, just put the 0 in the book. I'm not going to do the monologue. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to get up on stage in front of a whole audience full of people and perform. Okay, I'm just not going to do that. So, okay. So he gave me the 0, and of course these monologues take weeks and weeks to memorize and practice, and so I'm watching all of my fellow classmates practice, and a lot of them are asking me for my help. And when we would be in the library, if I would go into these soundproof rooms, right, and hold their script while they try to memorize it. And so I'm doing this for all my friends, right? I'm looking at their scripts, and they're reciting these things back to me as they're trying to learn their monologues and doing, what they're supposed to be doing. And weeks went by. And the more people that asked me for my help in that regard, the more I started to think, okay, about that person, and then about the other person, the next person. And I'm thinking, what's going on here? How is it they're doing this? I'm like, am I the only one that's petrified of that kind of spotlight, that kind of pressure? So I started to think, well, if they can do it, I can do it. So I changed my mind. So I went to the teacher, and I said, what do you got left for monologues? Let me fish through what you got. So I did. I went through what he had left, and I picked one out. And not for nothing, I'll just tell you, I picked a monologue that was extremely intense and very dramatic. Of course. I was Blanche Dubois from A Streetcar Named Desire. Yeah, right? So, 0 to 100, I don't know. So I picked it, and I started to memorize it. And I was on, borrowed time, right, at this juncture. But I'll never forget my first practice run. It was during my English class, and of course everyone else who had study halls or lunch or whatever was allowed to come to the auditorium and sit and watch people practice their monologues. So I got up for the very first time and I turned my back to the audience. It was dark in the auditorium, and the spotlight, of course, was up over, coming right down on the stage, focused right on my back. And I just closed my eyes and I went into character. And when I turned around to face the audience, I felt like I was Blanche. It was nothing short of miraculous for me, right? I was just determined to take the zero, and I was good with that. I was going to suffer the consequences of that. And here I am, standing on stage, about to perform for the first time my monologue. And when I turned around, all I can tell you was I didn't miss a beat. I didn't miss a word. I nailed it. I really did. I really nailed it. And all because I changed my mind. And it was so profound for me. That became a stepping stone for me for the rest of my life. Right? In fact, it's potentially true that the reason I even became a life coach in my life is because of that foundation, where I stepped out and put myself in a very vulnerable place on a very public platform for everyone to see. And miraculous things occurred. I started to believe in myself. So it was just a simple concept, but with very profound effects for me. Not just in that moment, but for the rest of my life. Okay? So that was one very powerful change your mind example. Here's another one. So when my husband and I and our 2 children would go to, what do you call those, amusement parks. Right, my kids, of course, loved the rides, and so did Steve, and especially the big roller coasters and things like that, right? So we're on a family day, and, these are the times when you create these wonderful family memories. Except the fact that I was petrified of these roller coasters. Now, my husband and my children were loving them. They couldn't get enough. The higher, the better. The faster, the better. Right? It didn't matter, right? These huge drops, these big loop-de-loops. It didn't matter. It was all good for them, right? And I am thinking, how am I going to do this? I can't do this. I hate this. I hate this. And here's the thing, right? I mean, the rides usually are 2 by 2, right? So if I wasn't going to go on the ride, that left one member of my family to be sitting with a stranger or alone. So I really felt the impact of that, right? So here we were standing in line at this log ride, right? We're about to get on this log ride. And there was this long line, and I'm in line, and I'm fretting about this ride. There's this huge straight drop in this log ride where of course you get all wet, and so does everybody else. And anyway, and I'm just petrified of this ride. I don't want to get on this ride. And they can't wait to get on it. So I'm having this self-talk inside in my head, this dialogue. And all of a sudden, it just dawns on me that says, okay, this isn't working, right? I'm ruining the family day, the memories, the occasion, you know, and I need to get on board. So I changed my mind. This is what happened. Okay, this is the truth. Literally, I remember it like it was yesterday. I was standing there, and inside my head, I'm having this conversation with myself. Because it would sound weird if I was having it out loud. My family and everyone else around would have thought I was a little crazy. So, here I am having this conversation. I said, no, I'm not petrified of this ride. I am actually excited about this ride. In fact, I've been waiting all day to get on this ride. And I'm so excited. I can't wait to get on this ride. Right? This ride is going to be the funnest ride in the whole park. I am so excited for that big drop. Right? And and then after that, we're going to get on the Superman, and we're just going to keep going, and it's going to be so much fun. And I'm so excited about the thrill. This is what I'm saying to myself. And it worked. Like, it just shifted in me. When it was our turn to get on the ride, I was legit excited. I just kept saying, okay, let's do it. Let's do this. Let's do this. I'm so excited. I just changed my mind. And I even put my hands up in the air going down the big hill, getting wet, having fun, screaming, laughing, and of course it's the log ride where, the one where everyone gets their picture taken on that ride. So there was that too, right? So I have a picture to prove my story. So anyway, I ended up having the most fun on that ride. And when I got off that ride, we were running to the Superman. We were so excited. And for the rest of the day, every ride I went on, I didn't sit out on any of the rides. I was excited. In fact, it was me that was wanting the higher, the steeper, the faster. I wanted the adventure. It was so powerful. This concept of change your mind. It was so powerful. It changed my whole reality. And not just mine, but the reality of my whole family and our memories that we take away from those adventures now. Because I changed my mind. Right? Yeah. So anyway, those are a couple of examples. I could give you many, many, many more that I have had over the course of my life that are so powerful. But I find even now I find myself having opportunities to use this tool to just change my mind, change my awareness of how I'm perceiving it, how I'm internalizing it, and I'm really it really helps you to come into a new understanding of your power to affect your own reality. So, I wonder about yours. What are your change your mind opportunities that would increase the quality of your life? I bet you could think of 3 of them right off the top of your head. And apply this concept to just change your mind. Right? I had another opportunity at a job I had. The first job that I had as an ophthalmic technician. Right? There were some tasks that were my responsibility, or the responsibility of all the techs in the office, and I just wasn't good at them. There was two tasks in particular that I wasn't good at, and the reason I wasn't good at them was because I didn't like them. I didn't want to do them. The equipment that they were having us use was archaic, and it was difficult, and it was painful on on the patients, and it was just not a fun thing to do. And so I avoided it at all costs. And then one day I was driving into work, and I just decided, you know what? This is affecting my life in a negative way. It was causing me to have anxiety over my job and really starting to not really enjoy my job, which was not okay with me because I'm a people person and I love people and I love working with patients, and I really enjoyed my job and I wanted to continue to enjoy my job. So I decided in my car that day on the way to work, I was going to change my mind. That from now on in the office, anytime the doctors were ordering those two particular tests, that I would be the one to do it. I would, if I was available, I would be, instead of running and hiding and pretending like I was busy with this or that and making sure one of the other techs did these tests that I didn't like, I was then going to now make myself available and force myself to conquer my fear, right? And achieve excellence in this arena, right? So I became the most proficient tech in the office at doing these two tasks because I had changed my mind. It changed my experience with my job. It changed my experience with our patients. It changed my experience with the staff, with everything about it. And even when I would come home at night, it changed my experience about thinking about going to work the next day. It's so powerful, this tool, this change your mind tool, right? It's so powerful. It's a game changer, right? Game changer, for sure. Yeah, and it's so simple. It's so simple and yet so profound and so applicable to endless situations, circumstances, right? Endless. It's so powerful. So anyway, I just wanted to share those with you right out of the gate. And if you're struggling with it, let me know. Let me know. And maybe I can help you figure out where are some areas in your life. But I'd love to hear from you about some change your mind experiences that you might take on yourself with your own life to increase the quality of your life, increase your joy, right? Increase your experience in this world. Whether it's personally, like the monologue was, whether it's for your family, right? Like the roller coaster thing was, right? Or maybe in your career, like the last example I gave, right? They all impact me personally, professionally. They all impact me in the biggest way possible, in that it shows me that I'm an overcomer. I don't have to settle, right? I am an overcomer, right? I'm powerful, I'm strong, I'm able. And little by little by little, what happens is, right, I start to believe in myself, right? I get to see how powerful I really am by applying it, right? And then you just see yourself rising up, right? Rising up and rising up and living beyond what you thought you could attain. You're very powerful. You're very powerful. That's good news. That is good news, my friend. You are powerful. Much more powerful than you know. Right? You got this. Just change your mind. For your own sake. For the sake of your quality of life. And the quality of life of those around you. And the impact that you have in the world. You're a warrior. You just gotta start to let that warrior within just rise up, right? And change your mind is a good tool to help you to do that. So I hope you grab hold of this tool and really apply it to your life, as I have done and will continue to do. And I'll continue to share those opportunities with you as well. So have fun with it. Embrace it. Go for it. Why not? Until next time, my friend.